Good everybody, what's up? Robett Hollis here. How do you know when it's time to justify getting a office? Basically, with CoLab, our shared workspace stuff, we've got 10 floors and 7 buildings that we've expanded to over the last couple of years, and I always kind of get that question where people are trying to justify if they want to get a space. And the best way to justify, if you're at home or you're thinking about getting an office or wanting to get out, the majority of time it's basically the social interactions. You know, they want to get around other people, like-minded people, blah, 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 all the rest of it. The upside is very clear and obvious. So the question I actually ask them is, I say, you know, how much do you charge out an hour for their time, right? And so the reality is, you know, if it's a designer or something, it's, you know, 50, 100 bucks an hour, whatever it is. And I say, well, if a desk is 100 bucks a week, and if you'll be more productive, say if you charge 50 bucks an hour and the desk is 100 bucks for the week, basically I ask the question of, or you ask yourself, in terms of your time, will you be more productive than 2 hours extra per week by being in an office? And then always the answer is yes, right? Because if the answer is yes, and you're charging out your time at 50 bucks an hour for the 2 hours for the week, then it 100% justifies it. So I always work back from however much you charge your time for in your services or whatever else you're doing, or your business, for how much more upside you'll get by being productive. And if those hours equate for the upside of that, it's always usually worth it. So the average one I would say is, you know, if a desk is 100 bucks a week and you know you'll be more than 2 hours productive per week, which would be the 100 bucks, it's definitely worth it to do it, opposed to, you know, sitting at home and not being around others, and you get all the other upsides and stuff as well. So the most simple question to ask, and people ask me kind of all the time when they're trying to justify it, or, you know, and another smart one to do, which not many people actually do, which they kind of should, is understand that if you kind of partner up with a couple of other like-minded people, you could probably get an office for like $1,000 bucks or 1,500 bucks or whatever. So instead of paying 400 bucks a desk for yourself, and if there's 3 of you, you could potentially get yourself an office for $1,000 bucks for 3 of you to potentially fit in, instead of open plan desk where you get, you know, it costs you $1,200. So a lot of the times people need, I mean, I'm sure other spaces or whatever might think of it differently, but personally, if you've got good friends, you can save yourself some money. Why not do it that way? So if you're at home and you're thinking about getting an office space, that's the key question to ask yourself. Work back from how much it costs per week, divide that by the amount of hours you charge, or the price you charge out per hour, and then whatever that hour number is, if you think or believe that in a Monday to Friday situation you'll be more productive than the hours, or that many more hours more productive, it's usually worth to do it. So that is the question. Any other, I think I might start doing more of this when people frequently ask questions about this type of stuff, because instead of saying it all the time, you can actually just kind of learn, and it's easy. So that's the best way to realize, or to justify mentally or emotionally or whatever it is, if you want to get an office or an office space to get out of the house and into the real world. How much do you charge an hour? Divide that by the amount per week, and then you're away laughing. All right, see you guys soon. Peace.